I want a happy ending. That is why I'm currently building a deck that deals with happily ever after, which wins you the game by jumping through all these hoops. It's not a very good win condition, but let's make it even worse, because I want to do this in a mono white deck. But how do you get all 5 colors in a mono white deck? Well, that's where we have to be a little bit creative, and I think the best way to do it is with tokens. There are a few things out there in white that make off-colored tokens. Things like Living Weapon that give you a black germ, bangers like cards with Mirrodin that make red tokens, and then by far the hardest color to come by is green. Then there are some colored tokens that are hidden behind certain mechanics, such as Lost Mines of Phandelver creating a red token, and the Undercity can create a black token, and this one also creates 2 black tokens, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that often. And there's a card like Mascot Exhibition that gives us everything but green, and also Mimic Vat could potentially help me get colors I need. Now it's important to keep in mind that this is at the beginning of the upkeep trigger, and this is an intervening if, which means the conditions have to be true in order for it to even start to trigger. So I could never activate Scuttlemutt to be the missing color that it needs to be before this trigger condition can be met and then trigger and go on the stack. Conditions have to be met before the triggers can go off, and they have to be met as it resolves. But if I do have everything in place, I would love to slam down Grand Abolisher and then Teferi's Protection out so that I'm guaranteed that trigger on the upkeep. If I'm struggling to get the wind or it's just impossible because the enchantment got exiled, well, I can still try to go the token route, which is why I think running Nadar would be a pretty decent option for this deck. Venture into the dungeons can help me get the red goblins or the black skeletons, and if worse comes to worse, I can just pump the whole team. Is this going to be a good deck? Probably not, but if I get that one win with it, then I'll feel pretty good about it. I also want to shout out Gray on the Discord for their version of the deck. We both had a similar idea of making mono white happily ever after decks, but they built theirs more to be budget and focused on win conditions kind of typal deck. A few of us did a bit of theory crafting on there, and I got a lot of inspiration from it, so I got a lot of good ideas for it, and I think it could work.